Welcome to this new video on my YouTube channel. Today we are going to talk about what gear I use as nature and wildlife photographer. And I give you a full list of my gear, so not only cameras and lenses, also backpacks and something else. And I think we can start. So first I have, the most important thing, my camera and my lens. And at the moment my main lens is the Canon EF 400mm f2.8, and it's a very nice lens because it has an aperture of 2.8, and that is very nice because you can capture animals also when it's darker, and this is a very nice lens. Then I have my Canon R7. It's my main camera also, so I use it every time I photograph something, like also for macro photography, because I only have a RF macro lens and not a EF. And I think we go to the next camera. So the next camera I use is the Canon EOS 60 Mark II. So I used it maybe 2 to 3 years, and I love this camera because it was my first camera I've bought. And then I have the Canon 50mm f1.8. And I bought this lens because it's very cheap, so it costs only like 100 euros. And I love this lens because the aperture is like 1.8. It's very nice because of the good bokeh. And I think we go to the next lens. So the next lens is the Canon EF 70 to 300mm lens, and it's a very nice lens. I used it also like with the Canon 60 Mark II at my start of photography, and I really like this lens because it's not very heavy, and I also use it sometimes today. The next lens is the Laowa 65mm f2.8 macro lens. So I love this lens. It's a very nice macro lens, and I'm not very professional in macro photography because it's also my first macro lens. And I always use it when I go out and shoot macro. The next lens is a very old lens. It's the Canon EF 75 to 300mm lens, and it's also a very old lens because it was also my start lens, and I used this lens with the Canon 700D. So it's also a good camera, but I don't like this lens very much. This lens has an autofocus, but it sadly has no stabilization, so I think it's only good for creative photos and stuff, but I think not for sharp photos when you want this. And the next thing we are going to talk about is this thing, binocular, and I use this to spot some animals, and it's very nice. I forget it sometimes because also my backpack is also very heavy. That's the problem sometimes, but when I have this thing with me, I always find animals very good. And and the next thing we are going to talk about is this microphone here. I think it costs only like 50 euros when I bought it, and I really like this microphone because it's my starter microphone, I think. And a lot of people use this also, and because of that I bought it. And it's the Rode Video Micro, and I really like this. So it's a cheap microphone, but it has very nice quality. I'm not a professional at the moment in videography, but I can really recommend this thing for like beginners in videography. And the next thing is the sleeping mat. It's not for sleeping, but you can put this on the ground so that you don't get dirty or something. And this is very good, so I always have it with me on the side of my backpack. I show you my backpack right after that, and I think we go to the backpack. So the backpack I use is this here. This is the f-stop Tilopa 50 liters. So it's a very nice backpack because it's very rain protected also. And you can put a lot of things in here and also at the side of the backpack. So you have like this thing here. So you can put also a tripod on this side here. And it's a very nice backpack. And I can also make a video like about that. The next thing we are going to talk about is this tripod here. It's the first tripod I bought. So it's the Benro, I don't know the name, but it's a Benro tripod, so I can recommend that for only photographers because it has like this head here. But the problem is this lens here, the Canon 400mm, is not very good for that because it's very heavy, and this lens here on this tripod is not very stabilized. It's a little bit stabilized but not very good, I think. And yeah, so I can only recommend like this tripod only for photographers and only for people who don't have like 4 kilograms and more, yeah, like lenses. So yeah, and I think we next go to camouflage, and there I have a lot. And first of all, I have this camouflage net here. It's like for summer. I also have one for winter and yeah, like for autumn also. And I can really recommend like camouflage nets, but only ones who are like not this loud. You can hear it. This is not very loud. So yeah, I only recommend like ones that are not that loud. And yeah, then I have this camouflage jacket here and also a camouflage trousers. Then I can also recommend like camouflage gloves that are also very good, so you can put it on your hand. And it's very nice because it has like this 3D effect here, and this is very, very good. And yeah, I think we go to the next thing. And I also forgot a lens. I also have the Sigma 150 to 600 C, so it's the cheaper lens. So there is also a sports lens of the Sigma 150 to 600, but I don't have any experience with that, so I only have that one. In the next steps, I'll show you some things that I use for creative photography, and yeah, there I had a lot of things, so I can show you this. So I first have this sponge here. I don't know the exact name in English, but it's a sponge for me. Then I have this thing here. I don't know the name in English, so yeah, but I think you know it. And also this flash here, so it's a camera flash, and it's very good, so you can shoot like macro photos with that, but it's also good for creative photography. And yeah, and then I also have some lights, and yeah, I also use them. And I also forgot something that I use for the Canon 400mm lens. So I also have this 2x teleconverter. It's very good because you can get like significantly closer to animals with that. And yeah, I can really recommend this. Then I have the DJI Osmo Action 4. It's an action camera that I use for videography when I photograph and film myself for the YouTube videos. And there I have these microphones. It's also from DJI, so I use both from the same brand because it connects better, and yeah, I can really recommend this. But then I have this thing here, so I put all my SD cards in here, and yeah, I think we'll go to the next, also very important thing. And that is this thing here, so it's a small bag, I don't know the exact name, I think it's a sling bag, I don't know the exact name in English. But yeah, I stored all my photography cleaning gear in here, so like the splash bulk, and yeah, also a lot of other things like this here and this here. And this was all my gear, so I stored all this gear in my Astroptilopa, so in my backpack. So this was all my gear. When you want to know something else about my gear, you can write it in the comments. And yeah, I think we see us in the next video. Goodbye.